The road hums beneath us. The sun hits that timeless silhouette, and suddenly, you're not just driving a car, you're part of a legacy. This is the Mazda RX-7, a name whispered with reverence among gearheads. A car that broke rules, burned rubber, and redefined what Japanese engineering could do. In a world dominated by piston engines and conventional thinking, Mazda decided to do something absolutely insane. They took a design that most manufacturers had abandoned, a spinning triangle inside an oval, and said, yeah, that's our future. The rotary engine wasn't just weird, it was revolutionary. Today we're diving into the story, the soul, and the science behind one of the most iconic sports cars ever built. From the dreamers in Hiroshima to the street legends of the 90s, from the racetracks to the drift circuits, this is the story of how the RX-7 became a symbol of rebellion, passion, and precision. The RX-7 story starts in the late 1970s, when the automotive world was in chaos. Oil crisis, emission laws tightening, sports cars fading away. But Mazda, small, stubborn, and fueled by pride, refused to give up. They built the SA22C, the very first RX-7 in 1978. Lightweight, simple, and perfectly balanced. Under the hood, the 12A rotary engine. Tiny displacement, massive character. It revved past 7,000 RPM with the sound of a jet turbine trapped in a tin can. No vibrations, no hesitation, just a clean, endless surge of power. It didn't have big horsepower numbers, but it didn't need them, because the RX-7 wasn't about raw speed, it was about how it felt. That perfect 50-50 weight distribution, that tight steering, that moment when you throw it into a corner and it just sticks. And when car journalists first drove it, they got it. This was Japan's answer to the European sports coupe. The RX-7 was often compared to the Porsche 924 and the Datsun 280ZX, but cheaper, lighter, and arguably more fun. Mazda wasn't just competing, they were showing the world that Japanese engineering could stand toe-to-toe with anyone. The 80s came, and the RX-7 evolved. The FB sharpened things up, and soon after the FC3S arrived, a new chapter, this time turbo. Smoother body lines, refined suspension, and a more grown-up personality. Some say the FC was inspired by the Porsche 944. Others say it was Mazda flexing that they could build something even better. With the turbo 13B engine, it pushed beyond 180 horsepower, a big deal back then. It could eat European coupes for breakfast and still drive home smooth. And then came the looks. Those pop-up headlights, the long hood, the subtle rear spoiler. It screamed 80s anime hero energy. If you've ever watched Initial D, you know exactly what I mean. The RX-7 wasn't just a car anymore, it was a cultural icon, a symbol of freedom, youth, and speed. But then the 90s hit, and Mazda dropped what might be their greatest creation ever, the FD3S. Even today, it looks like it came from the future. Low, wide, curvy, no sharp edges, just aerodynamic perfection. Twin turbos, 13B REW engine, 255 horsepower out of 1.3 liters. That's black magic. The FD wasn't built for comfort, it was built to drive. The steering was laser precise, the chassis tuned to perfection. It cornered like it read your mind. But it demanded respect. Treat it wrong, and it would bite back. The rotary needed maintenance, attention, and love. It burned oil, it drank fuel, it was fragile. But that fragility gave it soul. Every rev felt like a conversation between man and machine. People didn't just buy the RX-7, they bonded with it. They memorized its quirks, the warm-up idle, the oil check ritual. the turbo lag that hits like lightning when it spools. Owning one wasn't just owning a car, it was joining a cult. On the track, the RX-7 proved itself over and over. In the early 1980s, it dominated IMSA GTU racing, winning over 100 races. It even claimed victories at the 24 Hours of Daytona and Spa. Teams loved it because the rotary, despite its size, produced insane power-to-weight ratios. And while it screamed on the straights, its chassis danced through corners with perfect balance. Even after its factory racing days ended, the RX-7 never stopped showing up. Drifters loved it, tuners worshipped it. Its rotary sound became the soundtrack of underground car culture. And if you've ever been near one bouncing off the limiter at 9,000 RPM, you know exactly why. But then the 2000s hit, and times changed. Emission laws got stricter, and the rotary's flaws became harder to justify. It was thirsty, it was dirty, and it didn't fit the corporate green image. 2002 marked the end of the FD. The last true RX-7 rolled off the line in Japan, and it felt like the end of an era. But the thing about legends, they don't die, they evolve. Because the RX-7 didn't fade away, it exploded in the tuner scene. The Fast and Furious era hit, and suddenly every kid with a dream wanted a red RX-7 with a wide-body kit and a giant turbo. Initial D turned it into a pop culture god, and YouTube made it immortal. Every build told a different story. Some went for insane horsepower, pushing 700 plus HP from a tiny 1.3-liter block. Others kept it clean and simple, a tribute to Mazda's purity. The RX-7 became the perfect platform for expression. Whether you were into grip racing, drifting, or just showing off at car meets, there was no wrong way to build one. And beyond the tuning world, the RX-7 represents something we've lost: purity, raw connection. No traction control, no digital filters, no artificial noise, just a steering wheel, a gearbox, and a rotary screaming through your chest. Modern cars might be faster, safer, smarter, but they'll never be this alive. The RX-7 teaches you patience, discipline, empathy for your machine. It punishes arrogance and rewards respect. It's mechanical intimacy, the kind of bond that electric cars can't simulate, no matter how much torque they have. Today, owning an RX-7 is like keeping a piece of history alive. It's a ritual. You start it, you warm it up, you listen to that idle bounce like a heartbeat. Every drive is an event. You feel the vibrations, the smell of fuel, the turbo spool, and you realize that cars used to have souls. And sure, it's not perfect. It'll test your wallet and your sanity at 3 a.m. But then you get that one perfect corner, that one perfect pull, and it all makes sense. Because that's what the RX-7 was built for. Not just to go fast, but to make you feel something. The RX-7 wasn't designed by accountants or committees. It was designed by dreamers. People who believed cars could be emotional, beautiful, and wild. It represents a time when car companies took risks, when passion mattered more than practicality. And that's why, decades later, we still talk about it. We still chase it. We still love it. The Mazda RX-7 wasn't just a machine, it was a statement, a rebellion against boring cars and predictable design. It told the world that different isn't bad, it's brilliant. From its humble beginnings to its domination on the track, from being a cult favorite to a collector's dream, the RX-7 will forever be remembered as the car that spun, literally, its own path. So here's to the rotary, to the dreamers, to the builders who keep it alive, to the rebels who still believe that driving isn't about getting somewhere, it's about feeling alive while you do it. This was the Mazda RX-7, and some legends never stop spinning.